What's going on, Go Nation? Back with another video. As you can see, I have these headphones on. I'm testing it out. Hopefully my mic sounds good. This is my first time actually using it. Let's see if this works out. Anyways, we're gonna be rocking. We're gonna be rocking out. No, we're not. No. Anyways, we're gonna be reacting to another new Rockstars video, the Flash trailer breakdown. I've actually been really wanting to watch this video. I've been busy, so I wanted to react to it, not really watch it yet. So now I'm able to watch it, and I'm actually really excited for this, really excited for the movie. But before we even get into the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 100 subs. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss, and this is a breakdown of the new trailer for DC's The Flash, coming this June, an adaptation of the Flashpoint crossover event, bringing back both the Michael Keaton Batman and the Ben Affleck Batman, as well as Michael Shannon Zod from Man of Steel. Who knows who else? I now get why they didn't can this movie despite Ezra Miller's controversies, because everything about this, from the confident tone to the vibrant visuals, from director Andy Muschietti to how good Keaton still looks in that suit. It's all in the lips, baby. All of it has made this my most anticipated superhero film of the summer.
The trailer looks
just
awesome.
What the DCU needs to turn the page, and we gotta break down this trailer frame by frame, because despite it seeming to show a lot of the film, it definitely does. I think the biggest conflict in this movie is something that this trailer doesn't really get into. So let's break it down. Also, this Friday, February 17th, will be the launch day of our new channel, The Deep Dive, in which I've
already watched all the videos from that channel.
Of other movies that you love. You can best support our growing network by checking out our merch store, nerdriot.shop, and you can get stuff like this from our Deep Dive collection. Let's see, we also got mugs that are awesome with our logo. Our Deep Diver Vossmonaut is also on a water bottle. Yeah, all kinds of great stuff. So check it out, support us. Thanks. All right, let's get started.
Tell me something. You can go anywhere. Another timeline. Another universe.
So Barry Allen, tears in eyes, appears in front of his house as we hear the voice of Michael Keaton Batman asking why he's come back to this timeline of all timelines. And the next clip we'll hear Barry say, because this is the one timeline where his mom lives. So this film, based on the 2011 Flashpoint comic event, is altering the storyline rather than translating it A to A. The comic event begins with Barry actually finding himself depowered in a universe without the Justice League, but with his memories still intact. In this universe, Batman is now an uber-violent Thomas Wayne, the Amazonians and Atlanteans are at a war that is causing massive flooding around Europe, so Barry realizes this timeline has been altered at some point, and he believes that it's the doing of Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne, and later realized it was actually Barry's own doing in his attempt to go back in time to prevent his mother from being killed by Reverse Flash. There's a lot of other really cool things that happen in the comics. I highly recommend you read this event, but this movie seems to be starting with the choice to go back in time to save Nora Allen, building on Barry's discovery of his ability to reverse time in the events of Zack Snyder's Justice League. And in this movie, rather than Speed Forcing into a timeline and assuming his own body at that point in history, Barry's Speed Force enabled time travel has brought him to a side universe where he can encounter his separate self in that timeline where Nora Allen is still alive and that Barry is depowered, because if he didn't lose mom, he doesn't become a superhero. While the Amazonian Atlantean war backdrop doesn't really seem to be part of this is a universe without metahuman protectors, and so Zod went unstopped in the Man of Steel events. And rather than this being a universe where Bruce's father, Thomas Wayne, became Batman instead of him, it is one where Bruce is played by Michael Keaton from the Tim Burton era. Now that means we might not get that emotional ending of the Flashpoint comics with Thomas's letter to Bruce, but I do think we'll get another kind of cathartic Batman legacy send-off. There is a quick shot of the Flashpoint Barry atop Wayne Manor. Looks like that's the Gotham skyline in the background. Wait a minute, it's so bright. That can't be right. Gotham's supposed to be gloomy. Gloomy! So yeah, this side universe is just too happy, too bright, and I hate it. Meanwhile, back in main Barry's original universe, there's a quick shot of that universe's Batman riding the motorcycle, blue cape, stubbier ears on the cowl. Yeah, this is Ben Affleck Batman. I expect this story to use Barry Allen as really a facilitator to bridge the gaps among the different eras of DC fans. It's not just a Flash story, it's gonna be a true DC crossover event, and it's gonna be awesome. Next clip.
So why do you want to stay and fight to save this one? Because this is the world where my mom lives.
Okay, we see a hand flipping a heavy switch, which seems to trigger the editing of the trailer itself. I think one of the reasons this trailer is such a banger is they really did a good job constructing this 3-minute trailer into something that really produces its own hype. We flash through a quick shot of feet levitating off that same ledge on Wayne Manor. I think this is Sasha Kaye as Kara Zor-El, Supergirl. This is Kal-El's cousin, and this may be the first moment she flies in her official Supergirl suit. Now, I love the color shifting in this trailer, from the warm golden tones of young Barry dancing with Nora in the kitchen to the colder blue tones from the moment of Nora's death. Barry's father Henry is now played by Ron Livingston, recast from Billy Crudup in Justice League. Barry's shirt in the main timeline is also shifted from yellow to blue, matching the blue wall paint. I think this color paletting will be helpful for us as the film intercuts across timelines. Next clip.
Time has a pattern that it can't help reliving. Different people, different worlds, drawn to each other like magnets.
I love the shot of young Barry running out of the house on the morning of Nora's death, and the sky zips from day to night as adult Barry returns to this memory. And then we see an extreme close-up of Bruce's hand with bruises all over the fingers, meaning this guy still cracking some skulls. He touches this old photo showing young Bruce with his parents, Thomas and Martha. In the TV version of this trailer, we can actually see Michael Keaton Bruce. Our man has some shaggy gray hair. He's a true shut-in. He has to stuff it all into that cowl. This bookcase wall is his hidden entrance to the Batcave, meaning our man's got to remember Martha to get in. Moving on.
It's my face. So my face.
If you were to go into the past, you have no idea what the consequences can be.
Bruce, I could fix things.
You could also destroy everything.
Okay, so here, Main Barry runs into alternate timeline Barry. Main Barry wears his flash ring that contains his suit. Alternate Barry doesn't have speed powers. And to him, even the idea of speedsters and metahumans is insane, let alone a multiversal variant of himself. I love, though, how Main Barry eyes him apprehensively, as if trying to figure out if this could be an imposter who might have been the true Barry who is behind Nora's death in another timeline, which might be teased by alternate Barry's yellow headphones, yellow clothes, yellow being the color of Reverse Flash. Now, I do not believe Zod is the primary villain of this movie, but I'm also not sure if Reverse Flash is going to be the direction they go. But the trailer later does hint at who the villain might be. We see a slow motion shot showing the Speed Force blasting through Main Barry's back and chest and then plunging into alternate Barry's body. I assume this is part of the sequence where they give alternate Barry Speed Force powers, and in this instance, using Main Barry as a conduit. I love this close-up of Barry's ring as it spins, the Bolt logo splitting, and then there's a glimpse of his red bodysuit underneath. Assuming this is how his suit is contained within the ring, I just love the practical smoothness of the parts. It doesn't look like a VFX nanotech spilling over the body, but rather a Rubik's Cube puzzle with interlocking pieces. Ben Affleck Bruce Wayne warns Barry about attempting time travel, and I'm so glad they got Affleck for this, because this all started with Affleck and Ezra Miller's wild moment in 2016's Batman v Superman. So from that moment, Bruce must know that Barry isn't gonna listen to him and is gonna attempt time travel in the future. So structurally for this movie, starting with Affleck will give general viewers a barometer of what era or what universe we start in, so that they'll better understand what universe Barry goes to in the second act with a different Batman, and possibly what resolved universe this movie ends in. Maybe with a third new DCU Batman introduced, or at least hinted at, if they haven't cast him yet. On to the next part.
This can't be happening. I completely broke the universe.
Zod, we've been waiting for you.
I created a world with no metahumans. And now there's no one to defend us.
So Barry sees on TV screens a similar broadcast to the one Zod made in 2013's Man of Steel to call out the other Kryptonian hiding on Earth, though I don't remember his face being this clear in those. And then we see his world engine pummeling Metropolis as it did in that film. So it seems like Nora's death was around the same time as Zod's attack in Man of Steel, and that battle will be the apocalyptic backdrop of all these events, except now there are no metahumans to stop him, or at least they need a metahuman to step up. And remember, after we revisited the Battle of Metropolis from Bruce's perspective at the opening of Batman v Superman, I love that we revisit it now from the perspective of Barry, or maybe from both Barrys. Before, we got that epic crane shot of Bruce staring up in anger while he hugged that kid. Now it's this shot of alternate Barry looking up, but you can see his hand trembling in fear. Barry finds his scraps of this Kryptonian suit with the House of El sigil, but in this universe, probably didn't ever belong to Kal-El, but rather to Kara Zor-El, Kal's cousin. In the comics, it's a skinny, pale version of Kal-El that they find in the government captivity, Clark having been there since a young age with minimal human contact, and now it seems that they have swapped that version of Clark with Supergirl for this movie. And I think it's interesting because back in Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, Zack Snyder intentionally put an extra open Kryptonian cryo chamber on the Kryptonian ship that he heavily implied contained Kara Zor-El. And then we see the exact moment from Man of Steel where Zod's ship first encountered the US military in the desert, and whereas in that film, Kal-El was there to go with them so there wasn't a conflict, at least not initially, now Zod completely torches the soldiers. Then moving on to my favorite moment of this trailer.
Want some help?
Oh. You are?
Yeah,
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
Oh yeah. So the Barrys find themselves in the Batcave, specifically with the sloped Art Deco walls and railed walkways as the Tim Burton era production design. That's clearly the Burton era Batmobile under the cover. In the TV version of the trailer, one of the Barrys totally uncovers it. There's a bat wing hanging from above, though I don't remember the Burton Batcave having a waterfall. Like the Christopher Nolan Batcave definitely had a waterfall. I may just be misremembering the Burton Batman films. Now the scoring is a music box rendition of Danny Elfman's classic theme, giving this whole Batcave an antique vibe. And I love the difference between the Barrys and the reactions. Our main Barry squints up trying to decode this Batman variant, whereas alternate Barry is wide-eyed, having never seen any Batman up close before, even though this is his universe's Batman. Andy Muschietti uses a similar camera movement as the dramatic glides that Tim Burton would use, but I love how the drama is undercut by not all of the bulbs being lit above Batman's head. Most are out, actually. Again, we're looking at kind of an antique store Batman. It's kind of like the opening to the Phantom of the Opera with the monkey music box playing Masquerade, leading to the sweeping 80s gothic score. And you just gotta love the meta callback to the iconic 1989 moment.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
Hey, that crook, by the way, Christopher Fairbank, who played Olaf in Star Wars and/or several other roles over the years. I love to see both this guy and Michael Keaton having huge careers, both of them having shared that moment in 1989. On to the next clip. Okay, here Danny Elfman's score doesn't even try to hide itself. Batman does a 10 out of 10 dive to take out these soldiers. It looks like there's a lab at the base of a silo. Looks like the same location where Barry finds the Kryptonian House of L suit, and that lab actually kind of looks like where he transfers his power to Alt Barry. I'm assuming this is the place where they rescued Kara. The trailer editing matches this move with the two Barrys back in the Batcave. I always love in moments when movies double an actor and they play around with the blocking like this. Like clearly Ezra was shot on two different planes, falling behind the Barry in the foreground just sells that illusion. Actually, at one point, the studio wanted Robert Zemeckis to direct this movie, and as a director who perfected this kind of VFX and blocking in Back to the Future Part 2, and some really uncanny seamless VFX in movies like Forrest Gump, he really could have made an interesting choice to do this, but I gotta say, Andy Muschietti is totally crushing the visuals here. Okay, back to the Batfleck motorcycle chase. Armed men in an armored Humvee flip a police car. Notice many of the buildings around them are covered in construction scaffolding. We could be in Metropolis here, still rebuilding after past conflicts. A quick shot shows Kara flying upward, cradling one of the Barrys in her arms, maybe seeking to power him up with a bolt of lightning. Moving on.
If I can't undo what I did, if I can't get back, there might not be a future.
Okay, Barry watches the ground cave in around the Gotham City Hospital. You can see it on the ambulance there. But also there's a sign in the upper left reading Martha Wayne Institute. So probably Bruce, philanthropically founding the wing of the hospital for his mama. So what's causing the ground to crumble here? I'm assuming the world engine completing its terraformation, affecting Gotham all the way across the bay from Metropolis. We see Barry speeding up the side of a crumbling building. Actually, maybe we will see a battle in Metropolis where someone was just focused on evacuating as many civilians as possible. We get a quick moment of Barry with his love, Iris West, but it looks like he is speeding through this and only gets to spend really a millisecond with her. We see the two Barrys, both suited up, dueling colored speed forces, skidding to a halt just touching boots. Now the Barry on the left is Alt Barry, wearing pieces of an old bat suit that they modified. You can actually see the spray painted yellow bolt on the Batman boot and a knee pad, and in the 2021 teaser, he's clearly just wearing a rubber bat suit chest piece that they spray painted over. So confirmed, Alt Barry will get powers too. So it looks like here they're sweeping in to stop Zod's forces from torching any more of the military in the desert. There's a quick shot in the bedroom, a few other Warner Brothers Easter eggs in the posters, Pacific Rim, and I Am Legend. Now the 2007 movie I Am Legend actually had an Easter egg of a Times Square billboard for a Batman v Superman movie years before that movie was announced by Warner Brothers. We get this quick shot of a Batarang attached to a cable attracting a lightning bolt like Ben Franklin's kite with a key. It looks like this is what's going to initially charge the bolt that goes from one Barry to the other. Again, Robert Zemeckis, Back to the Future, it's all over the place here. And we get this gnarly close-up of these bolts zapping through Barry's cheeks and his face, one popping off its tooth. Yikes. From behind we see Kara Kara punching Zod in the face, his face shield folding and collapsing from the impact. In the desert battle, Mainberry spins and creates a cyclone. Look out, Pocket! Tornadoes hate that guy. We get this quick shot of Kara with her heat vision, her House of L sigil and suit back intact. And then we get our best look at Batfleck's gray and blue suit, yellow utility belt, mesh armor plating. This looks so sick. They actually pulled off a blue and gray suit Batman in live action. It looks like right before the shot, he had to bail from his motorcycle and he's now skidding, using that grappling gun to hook the car and ski behind it. And before we move on, there's a very quick shot of alternate Barry kicking someone else trapped in a fiery cyclone. This might be the one that Mainberry produced. Now we know the kicker is alternate Barry because look at that helmet. That is a Batman cowl with the ears shaved off. But in that cyclone, that is a thinner figure. I wonder if that could be a third Flash. Maybe that dark Kryptonian Flash that's been rumored for this movie. That could be the true actual villain of this movie's third act. On to the next clip.
What's the play? Batman, what do we do? We try not to die.
Okay, Batman and Barry are breaking Kara out of her facility, like the moment in the Flashpoint comics when Barry and Thomas free Clark from his containment. Based on Kara's potato sack clothes, it looks like a facility in Russia. I love the framing of all this. It looks like it was all in one shot that they broke up a bit for the trailer pacing, but you have to imagine Kara was actually framed perfectly behind Batman's raised hand for this entire shot, and it's only revealed when he closes his fist. Now the trailer unfortunately cuts through all of it. I get it for the pacing, but I just would have loved to have seen this shot unbroken in the trailer. We'll have to wait for the movie, I guess. But Kara moves with the speed and the momentum that we are used to seeing Kryptonians move with in the Snyder era of these films. I love how they match all that blocking. And they take her back to Wayne Manor, where behind her on the table, you can see the red and blue of her Kryptonian suit, waiting to be tailored into her new suit, which we see her flying in the final shot of the trailer. Now I want to end this breakdown with a few extra shots that were only seen in the TV version of this trailer.
I've never seen the TV trailer version.
Coverings extend down over his eyes, and if you look closely, you can see a digital interface in those eyepieces. A shot of Kara floating in front of Zod in the desert battle, just gorgeous shot composition with the dark plumes of smoke behind her. There's a quick shot of Affleck Batman firing up his motorcycle, and we can see he is in the back of his airship, meaning that he drops down into the chase from the air. You can actually see him landing on the street a few seconds later in this. And then the Keaton Batcave has at least 7 different bat suits. Some of the chest logos have been damaged. One of the cowls has goggles on it. This is likely the suits that they used to get the parts to make alternate Barry's new suit. Now, if you brighten this image, you can really see the differences between the suits. On the left, that suit has gun holsters, maybe a year 1 Batman when he was still using firearms. Then to the right of that, a blue cowl. And I just love how Keaton Batman and Batfleck think alike at different points of their lives. And then to the right of that, the 1989 bat suit. That's one with the emblem that's damaged. And then front and center, obviously the one he wears in this movie. And then behind that, to the right, the 1992 Batman Returns suit. And then to the right of that, a scuba bat suit. And then the one with the goggles seems to be a desert bat suit. Again, Keaton and Batfleck parallel thought. As we know, in the Batman vs Superman Nightmare sequence, Batfleck totally had a desert suit. Now again, we may not get the Flashpoint Thomas to Bruce letter, but I do think the resolution to this movie will be the formation of a new DCU. And with that clarified universe, the hint of a new Batman to set up the Brave and the Bold in James Gunn's upcoming slate. I mean, think about it. They have 2 Batmans. Wouldn't it make more sense to have at least the promise of a third? Again, subscribe to our new channel, The Deep Dive, launching this Friday with 5 premium videos that you are gonna love. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EAVoss. Follow New Rockstars, subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love. Thanks for watching, bye.
Another great video from Eric Voss, New Rockstars. Y'all killed it once again. Like I said before, can't wait for The Flash. This is gonna be probably the best movie of the year, as far as comic book movies. Haven't seen Ant-Man yet. Heard some mixed reviews, but I still need to go see it. Might make a review for it. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, hey, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment too. You already know what to do. Go Nation.